Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bow and Arrow Tarot, and this the Monday Toxic Love reading. I'm going to jump right into pulling out the three signs: Gemini, Pisces, and Aries. All right, those are the three signs for today that I'm going to be doing the Toxic Love readings on: Gemini, Pisces, and Aries. And we will be right back, starting off with Gemini. All right, Gemini, your Toxic Love reading begins with power, irresponsible. Doubt, unavailable, wow, and lust. So those are the five sort of shadow energies that may or may not be at play. You may have one of them at play or all of them at play. So let's get right into your reading. We have the Chariot, Six of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, and a Five of Swords. Strife, all right, gain, victory, and a path, a journey. The person, Three of Swords, betrayal. A new inspiration coming in for you with that Ace of Wands. Seven of Wands, a battle. And Three of Pentacles, gain. All right, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Emperor, which in fact is the tarot card for Aries. Now, in the beginning of the video, you'll note that Aries was one of the other signs that I pulled for the Toxic Love readings today. So stick around for that. Let's go ahead and get right into your reading. Chariot energy and Three of Swords. Well, that Three of Swords for your person. You're moving forward, right? Chariot energy, also Cancerian energy. Some of you may be dealing with some Cancer energy in your chart, but right now you're kind of trying to move forward. You have a path, you have a plan, you have an idea of what you want to do. You're kind of laying the foundation for these future goals that you're moving towards in your person. That Three of Swords, man, they are messed up in that, their head is totally hurt, betrayed. Three of Swords is a betrayal card. A lot of times in the tarot deck, it's represented as a heart that's impaled. But I really like this deck because ultimately, it's the mind that's really challenged here, right? It's it's communication. Three of Swords betrayal is lies, deception, breaking of trust. That's really at the core of it. And yes, it hurts your heart, but truly it's deceptive communication. So your person is feeling betrayed, like really betrayed. Let's get some clarity and see what's going on here. Four of Swords. So you've pulled back, not making any decisions right now, but your person is got Seven of Wands energy. So Seven of Wands and then Seven of Wands over here. They feel like they're really having the battle. For them, this is a real battle. For perhaps you, for this relationship, you aren't doing anything. You're pulling back. And I'm going to say unavailable might be your energy because Gemini, you're kind of like, well, hang on a second. You know what I mean? Let me wait for a minute and really decide how I want to move forward with you. Because for them to have such a deep sense of betrayal, what happened? Is it just because you want to follow your path? Is it just because you're doing things for you? Let's go further. How do you guys see each other? Well, you see them as the Six of Wands. They see you Ace of Wands. When you see them taking a victory lap. So again, it almost feels like you're dealing with somebody who's a little bit, arrogant. Someone who's not arrogant. Well, when I say a little bit, perhaps a lot arrogant to the degree that they're not really paying attention to you. They're kind of only looking at themselves. How do they see you? They see you as an Ace of Wands, more Wands energy. You're an inspiration for them. This may be a new relationship, Gemini. Because that Ace of Wands really feels like for them, it's a new relationship. It's a new inspiration. You represent kind of like somebody who's just really fiery and about your game. You have plans. You know what I mean? And they see that in you, right? They see that. And it's what's attracting them to you. right? So let's get some clarity here. But for you, interestingly enough, you see them with a victory lap. So let's see what the clarifiers say about this. Because, what gives me really pause for thought is that Three of Swords, that betrayal. So Nine of Cups, happiness is there, and a Ten of Swords. Wow. Okay, so Gemini, there is a happiness here almost because you're away from them, right? And they present with 10 of Swords energy. Listen, this betrayal may be on their part. Okay? This is what the message is beginning to become a little bit clear. This betrayal that they're obsessed with, I believe they're the ones who betrayed you. Yeah. And you're the one who kind of said, "Oh, okay, I'm going to pull back and be unavailable." And ever since they've been fighting because aside from this energy here, all along here, they're fighting for this connection with you. At some point, they realize that they have to let go here with that Ten of Swords. They have to let go of some ego. They have to sort of almost, they have to let go of some of their mental hangups and their ways of behaving, right? And perhaps some of the reasons why they betrayed you. You're happy. You're very, very happy. Now, you see them with this victory lap. This is interesting. I think that, again, you're dealing with somebody who's very arrogant, and they may be putting on this energy of being victorious when secretly they are dying to sort of get back to you. Because when we come to how you guys see yourself in the relationship, the roles that you see, they present with Seven of Wands energy. Again, really just fighting for this connection. They feel like they have to fight for it. So, again, I feel like Gemini, you're dealing with somebody who's really putting a good face on it for everyone else, but behind the scenes, they are desperate to get back or to make things up to you. You are presenting what in this relationship? A Nine of Pentacles. You are presenting independence. You're like, okay, I'm independent. I'm not going to bring anything to this relationship. In fact, I feel like you are kind of like in a place here, Gemini, where you're like, look, if you want to come and join me in my garden, work for it, which is what they're trying to do. But I'm not joining you in your garden. I have my own. You're very happy. Nine of Cups. You're very happy. You're happy. And I feel like, listen, I'm not saying that you broke up with this person, or it may even be that you're not together with them either, right? This may be an ex who has betrayed you in the past and is now trying to get back into you. But the truth of the matter is that you are presenting right now, this card wanted to flip over, the Emperor again. There we go. So you are presenting with very strong masculine energy, Gemini. You know what you want. You are you're kind of master of your ship, master of your own ship right now. You know what you want. And you're really just not going to compromise. You're just absolutely unwilling to compromise. That's that Emperor energy coming in. You're looking to the future with that Chariot. And again, with that Four of Swords, interestingly enough, Gemini, like I said, it almost feels as though you're giving this person no answer. You're not saying yes or no. I don't want to be with you. Your energy is very just simply unavailable. Yeah. And power. You have a lot of power, which is why I believe for some of you, this is absolutely an X. An ex who's kind of now come to their senses, realized something about this connection, and is now trying to come in. The toxicity here, of course, is that you're dealing with somebody who's already betrayed you in the past. So, yes, everybody can have a second chance, yada, yada, yada. But the truth of the matter is, they need to fight for it in very more ways than one. Seven of Wands is also a fight that is a very creative fight. So it's not just like, uh, be bravado. This is real. Like, if they want you, they're going to have to do something real because, again, the toxicity here is that they've already betrayed you in the past. Possible outcomes. Well, you come in with a possible strife again. Five of Swords, they come with Three of Pentacles. Listen, for you, it just seems as though you may just be like not willing Five of Swords is like giving up energy. It's like, look, there's a battle here, and I'm just not willing to have it. Like if there is any kind of little strife or doubt, here we go. If there's any doubt, strife, or battle that this person is bringing to you, I think you're just going to wash your hands completely and be like, yeah, I don't have the energy for this fight. I don't want it. Five of Swords, card for defeat. Five always being the number for strife and terrible. Five of Swords, we're talking about like just realizing that this fight is something you don't want. This fight is not worth having. It's an energy of you win. It's an acquiescing energy. Your person coming in with the Three of Pentacles, they for them they may have to sort of like involve friends or workouts. You know what I mean? Uh, I'm gonna say co-opt even perhaps friends and people around them in some kind of way. They may have to there's a work energy here, I feel like, right? You may be dealing with someone who's chronically unemployed. They may have issues. This Nine of Wands here feels like they're struggling in some way to really get to a place of the ability to grow, right? Get to a place where they can grow, right? Right now, they can't really grow. They're very stifled. It's been a long journey for them in a lot of ways. And again, I feel here for some of you, you may be dealing with somebody who has a lot of their own life issues, including perhaps being chronically homeless or not being, well, when I say chronically homeless, because of their own making, not not because something outside of their control, but this person's behavior, perhaps. Also, someone who needs to really learn how to work with others to maintain some financial stability. This feels like this is all going on with them, irregardless of what's happening with you. Let's pull out one more oracle card, and then we are going to move on. Well, this one fell out rather, unveiling. Okay. So we have an unveiling here, in terms of, take it as it comes to you, but it really feels to me like an unveiling of what is at issue here, getting to the root, and finding out, and much more to do with your person. Again, I feel like you're just in this place, Gemini, where you're like, look, I'm happy. Yeah, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but I'm not moving towards you. I'm not making space for you. And if there is any kind of strife whatsoever or doubt, again, doubt here, you're going to give it up. All right, Gemini, this is your toxic love reading for the week. We shall be right back with Pisces. All right, Pisces, your toxic love reading begins with misguided, pain, secondary, damn, embarrassment, and secretive. Wow. So these are the five shadow energies involved in this toxic connection. Listen, you may resonate, or this connection may resonate with one or all of these. All right. So we're going to see what it's all about. Your reading, Pisces, begins with the Five of Swords, High Priestess, King of Swords, and the Moon. Your person in this toxic connection is coming in with Temperance, Page of Swords, the Devil. Wow. And the Sun. Okay. At the bottom of this deck, we have the Hermit. Wow. All right. So Hermit energy is Virgo energy, right? In the tarot, the Hermit is the card for Virgo. So some of you may have some Virgo tendencies in your chart. Interestingly enough, Virgo is, I think it's Virgo that's exact opposite of Pisces. So interesting connection there. But Hermit energy, solitary energy, right? Let's get right into your reading. Five of Swords and Temperance. So you're coming in with a feeling of just wanting to give up. Okay, Five of Swords energy. It's like, ugh, I've had enough of this fighting. The strife has been too much. You feel defeated, exhausted. Your person's coming in with Temperance energy right now. They're feeling like they're really having to temper themselves, literally, right? They're having to sort of focus, on their energies, their emotions, so that they don't get carried away with them, so they don't get out of control. Let's begin to look at your clarifiers here, Pisces, because right away, there's an exhaustive feeling here from your part that you're just really, really tired of the fighting. Ace of Cups, wow. And the moon again. So, yeah, for you, Ace of Cups energy is new love. So, this indeed may be someone who's a quite a new connection for you. You do have hermit energy here, so you may have indeed been coming out of a period of being alone, a solitary period. But your person comes in with the moon, so they're very unsure. They're very sort of everything that's going on for them is very feel a lot of water here. You're Pisces, of course, you're a water sign, but with them it almost feels as though they're quite they're the ones who are quite unsure of themselves. They're unsure of how to move forward, right? They're secretive. There's a secretive energy as well. How do you guys see each other? Well, here it comes in. The high priestess, she is, she's the keeper of secrets. So, in this regard, Pisces, it's interesting because high priestess is also the highest card for intuition. You have a high degree of intuition here. You know something is going on, and then on the flip side of this energy is the the secrets, the secretness of it all. And this is your person. Now, your person sees you as a page of swords. Interestingly enough, they see you as, you're asking questions. What's going on? And this is where I feel like you are kind of tired of asking the questions here, right? They see you as somebody who's constantly coming in, trying to figure things out. So we have secretive here, but let's get further because again, what's the toxicity here? It may indeed be just the lies, the cover up, right? Because the person is coming in with devil energy here. Mother of Wands. Yeah, you feel like you've been around this block before. And a Five of Wands. Okay. So you're dealing with someone here, Pisces, who's very competitive. They're very concerned with their own ego and their pride, how they look, which is another reason why they're coming in with this temperance energy. They're not trying to give anything away. They're not trying to show their hand. They're not trying to show you how they truly feel. There's a lot of secrets here. They are extremely secretive, and yet this is a new connection, and you feel in your heart of hearts as though something is wrong. Why? Because you're resonating with that Mother of Wands or the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands, she knows. She knows because she's been around. She's been around the block so many times. She's been in these situations. Your sixth sense is like really, really high right now, right? That you know something is up. You may be finding out that you are secondary to that, You might be finding out you're secondary to something else. They're hiding something. Now, what are you bringing to the relationship? Well, you're bringing a King of Swords and they're bringing devil energy. Well, for you, I think you get to a place with this individual where you're like, enough is enough. This is what I require. Either you're going to be honest with me. These are my boundaries. This is what I'm not going to let you get away with. This is what you're not going to do with me. The King of Swords is the king of that. What you're not going to do with me, or what isn't going to happen here is this. And you're laying down the law. They're bringing devil energy. They are somebody who is very, very self-centered. They're bringing, listen, I'm conflicted with this devil card in tarot because oftentimes, listen, the devil is also the card for Capricorn. It's one of the highest cards for creativity because it's through our it's through our desire. Sex is desire, but it's through that archetypal feeling of desire that the most creative things in the world are born. But in this regard, when we're talking about a toxic love reading, this person is presenting with the dark side of the devil, which is somebody who is very addicted to their own pleasure. So this individual, whatever their kink is, whatever their desire is, whatever brings them joy, they are addicted to it to a degree that nobody else really matters. And this is what brings us back to this kind of narcissistic, weird behavior that's happening here, and why this is showing up as a toxic love reading for you. Okay. So let's go further. Again, you lay down the law, King of Swords. You're like, look, I've had enough. I've had enough of trying to ask you what's going on. You keep your secrets. This is already kind of a new relationship anyway. Yeah, I have feelings, but yeah, I've also been around this block before, so I'm just not buying it. Yep. And Eight of Swords, and there you have it. And Lovers. And this is what they're hiding. Okay. So, Eight of Swords energy. Listen, be careful not to play too much of victim, but Eight of Swords energy is really like being gaslit. Okay. So, watch out. Because I think as you lay down these rules with this person, they're going to begin to gaslight you and try to make you feel like something, like you're the one who's crazy. They're going to try to embarrass you, perhaps, or they're going to tell you you're misguided. A lot of gaslighting here. Okay. And this is going to come out as a result of you laying down the law. And why are they gaslighting? They're gaslighting you because they're hiding the fact that they already have a love connection with somebody else. Now, the sun is coming in as a possible outcome here, inasmuch as they may be brought out to the light of day in this regard. There may be some embarrassment here because the sun brings clarity and brings light. However, in this toxic reading here, there may be some light that is sort of thrown on their secrets. And again, I feel like their secrets is lovers, is a love connection somewhere else that they've been hiding. Your possible outcome here is moon energy. Now, as I said, Eight of Swords is that gaslighting vibe you're going to get. But moon energy comes in for you. And again, I think you begin to be really, this is a possible outcome here. Watch out, Pisces, that you do not allow this gaslighting and these attacks that inevitably will come your way, especially if you're resonating with this reading. Go ahead and hit the like button. That really helps me out. Thank you. But if you're resonating with this reading, all of the crap that is going to kind of be thrown at you once you kind of make your boundaries, to set your boundaries, and say, no, I'm not dealing with this. And take care that it doesn't throw you off. Okay, that you begin to doubt yourself, right? Because that's that moon energy. Watch out, because that's the objective here. The objective here of this individual, who's quite a their energy is quite nasty here. Their objective is to make you doubt yourself. So take care with that. All right, Pisces, let's get out your oracle card for this reading. So I would say that, the shadow energies at play here out of the five would be secretive, very strongly secretive, a feeling of being secondary. Okay. Are the two strongest here. Misguided, in as much as how they want to make you feel. Cultivation. All right. So neglected or nurtured. It could very well be that, the way this person is neglecting you um, is what's, tingling your spidey senses. Listen, cultivation. It's what you put in. What you put in is what you get out. If you don't put anything in, then there's no, you're not cultivating something, means that you are working towards its growth. You're inputting, you're giving towards its growth. It needs this, we'll give it this. It needs that, we'll give it that. So you get what you put in. And this is a lesson here in this regard with this toxic love connection here, Pisces. All right. Thank you so much. We are coming right back with Aries. All right, Aries, let's go ahead and pull out your toxic energies for this reading. Cowardly, misguided, projecting, envious, and we have pitiful. Damn. All right. Well, one or all of these energies could be at play. Let's go ahead and get right into your reading. Aries, your reading begins with Lovers, the Hermit, the Emperor, and 10 of Swords. Wow. Major Arcana and a 10 completion. Your person coming in with the Tower, Three of Cups, Seven of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. At the bottom of the deck, we have Judgment. All right. So Judgment in tarot, the card Judgment is really talks really ultimately about forgiveness. And when we're talking about a toxic love reading, somebody is coming in either wanting forgiveness or you're ready to forgive somebody. But let's see what's going on here as we get into your energies. We have Lover's energy and the Tower. So listen, Aries, lovers, this is a strong connection. You've had this connection with somebody for a minute, right? This was a real relationship. Um, but we're gonna get clarifiers and see what does this relationship mean to you right now. The Tower. Your person is having a tower moment. Everything for them is changing. All right. Some event has come into their life that shook everything up. It's really um been shocking, I'm gonna say, right? And then when we see that with that Judgment, we realize that something may have happened here that's really changed their mind on something. So let's get some clarity. Nine of Cups, you're happy. You're happy. And Mother of Cups for them. It almost feels as though you're dealing with somebody who's having an epiphany about what they've done. Okay? Because as I look ahead, right, as I look ahead here, we have Seven of Swords here. This is very sort of treacherous energy coming into this relationship. And so, Mother of Cups or the Queen of Cups here, it seems to suggest that your person is feeling very, very emotional. It feels like they're having a wake up call, a wake up call in the realm of relationships and connections and how their actions affect. Something may have happened, and again, as we come back to this Tower moment, Aries, it almost seems as though something is happening in your life that is shaking them up. Now, this Lover's energy and this happiness, I think this is a new connection that you found, right? And it's like boom, it's hitting them very, very hard. It's hitting them hard. Let's move on. The Hermit and Three of Cups. How you see them, how they see you. Well, you see them and they're quite, on their own. This individual is somebody perhaps that, I feel like this may be an ex or somebody that you had a relationship with who has really been sort of on their own, aloof, away from your point of view. There's been no connection here with them. They see you and they're like, okay, Aries is partying. Aries is having a good time. Aries is getting out and about. Now, listen, this is a toxic love reading, right? So in this regard, it feels like you may have healed from this connection, and somebody is envious. hmm Somebody is a little bit envious and it's really shaking them up. They may believe or they may have believed that you would never be all right without them. That you would never find another love connection or be happy, right? And so this is really shaking them up and this is really upsetting to them that you have found happiness. This is definitely an ex. Yeah, you walked away from them or they may have walked away from you, right? Either way, a breakup happened here. Temperance. Wow, a breakup happened here. And you're moving on. And you're moving on strong. Whoever you've met is like a soulmate connection. You've met a soulmate in your life recently. You're very happy. This is a problem for this person. Let's go further. Very envious. Very, very envious. We have Emperor energy and Seven of Swords. So this is what you both bring to the table. Well, the Emperor is your card, Aries. This is the card for Aries and tarot. So you are bringing your most authentic self, but in the regard of the Emperor energy, you are bringing dominance, you are bringing focus and success. You know what you want. And there is nothing really that they're going to be able to do, though they will try. Seven of Swords is how they come in. Well, Seven of Swords is the card for treachery and futility in tarot. So here we have Aries, a feeling that, listen, watch out. You're going to have somebody, this person is going to play games. Okay. They're going to come in, they're going to play games, they're going to do underhanded shit. They may come in through the guise of, hey, let's bygones be bygones. I feel a very kiki energy here. I feel a very cowardly energy here. Cowardly comes to mind here with this vibe, this feeling, temperance. You know, listen, they're not going to tell you how they really feel. They're going to try to be very kind of calm and collected around you, but the truth of the matter, they're burning inside and they're dying to fuck this up. Excuse my French. I have to say it. Sometimes, the feeling is what it is, and the feeling here is one of aggression. Their vibe is aggressive. Their vibe is, I am going to mess this up. Their vibe is one of pure shock. And I'm going to say some anger here, right? About you moving on. This lover's connection. Whoever you met recently, Aries, is a strong connection. You've met, it's strong. And they know it and see it and feel it, and they feel some kind of way about it. Let's go ahead and get some more clarity. Nevertheless, none of what they do here is going to work, because not only is this connection here something that's meant, and that you're just going to have to, this connection has to play out, and it's only just begun, and you're quite happy. Or at least, if it hasn't only just begun, this person is just now becoming aware of it. And them becoming aware of it is the tower moment, the shocking moment for them. Because as I say, they've really never believed that it would happen. It's another sign here that I do believe this person may have left you, or they may, they may have left you here. They left you, and left you in such a way of, they may have been with you, broke you, and then left you knowing or thinking in their minds that you will never, get over them, sort of thing. There's a nastiness here of whatever happened. There's a nastiness. At the time, you may have been very heartbroken, but you're absolutely past it now, because that was then and this is now. You've grown. Five of Wands and a Nine of Swords. Well, regret for them. Huge regret. Just a feeling of sleepless nights, anxiety, regret. What have I done? Five of Wands for you. Strife here. A lot of strife coming your way. A lot of competitive energy coming your way, and ultimately you let it go. You're like, 10 of Swords, I'm not here for it. That Five of Wands, that strife and the fighting that they're bringing to you, the drama that they're bringing to you, it's like the final nail in the coffin of disconnection. It's the final piece of you sort of letting go of who you were with them, letting go of this toxic connection, letting go of those little whispers, right? I mean, closure, like true closure, and true closure also oftentimes means having to go back in to the muck, right? And remember how much you hated it. And that's sometimes the true closure. And that's what it feels like here. It feels like you really resonate up, and it's perfect because you get rid of this last bit of toxicity with this person, and so you're 100% intentional in the moment and healthy here. It's like a last little bit of healing for them. Ace of Wands, interestingly enough, they may indeed just move on to somebody else. You're dealing with somebody here who is inconsistent, inconstant. There isn't a lot of love here. There's no cup cards here, and the only cup cards here for you are in response to a different connection. So when you're dealing with people like this who are toxic and bring toxicity and are really just there for the fight, oftentimes when a new shiny quarter comes along, or a new person or somebody else that they can get their supply from comes along, they just move on, because you shut the supply down here. You shut that emotional energy supply that they feed off of. You shut it down here, and they really just slither away they just dissolve away, and move on to the next person. Now, judgment, I wanted to come back to that because judgment is about forgiveness, but I think here what happens is that you forgive yourself and you forgive judgment is about accepting your own self. You accepting the things that you feel guilty about and forgiving yourself, and then you realize you can forgive others. And I think this is also this connection, this last little bit of this toxic connection here is also very much about you finding a way to forgive who you were when you were with this person. You may not have been the greatest person in the world, Aries, when you were with this person. This connection here feels very, very toxic in terms of what you both brought to the table, right? But I think it almost feels as though you were both quite toxic to each other, but you did some work to sort of get yourself up out of it. You have a new connection here that's a healthy connection, and your person is still kind of wallowing in their own toxicity. All right, let's go ahead and pull out your oracle card, and then we're going to call this a reading, Aries. This is going to be your weekly toxic reading for this week. Oh, what flipped over? Inner child. Okay, so we have inner child here. Careless or receptive, careless or receptive. See how that, take it for what it is for you. Um, if you're resonating with this reading, please go ahead and like it. This really helps me out. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, inner child has a lot to do with forgiveness here. And I think, yeah, tapping into that for you is what is at stake here. Tapping into your inner child, tapping into who you really truly are, forgiving yourself for this, for whoever you were in this connection. And also, with love, finally letting it go so that you can be 100% here. This is an interesting love story here. And I will be interested to see what your love reading this week will be, but you can also check back to last week's love reading. I'll go ahead and attach it to this video. But for right now, guys, this is it. This is your toxic love reading for the sign of Aries for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I wish you all love, life, and happiness. And I hope to see you guys next Monday for the Toxic Love Weekly. Bye-bye now.